Let's talk a little bit about musical theater. What was it about musical theater that helped you get over the stage fright?
Honestly, I don't really know because it took a very long time. Even every single time I stepped down on stage, I was still very nervous. But I think being forced is the wrong word, but kind of being forced onto the stage and also being in an environment of just people wanting to learn. And also my vocal coach at the time did an amazing. She told me put affirmations on my mirror and read them to me every day and just do things that would help me overcome being nervous and just grow confidence. And just all of that over the years helped me so much in realizing that, you know what, I have fun doing this, so why am I scared to do it? And then it just grew from there. Obviously, I'm still a little nervous when I go on
Hmm.
stage, but it definitely helped me big
That'll
time.
never stop either, by the way, no matter how much you do it. How much of the musical theater experience, I'm curious because I've heard this before from other artists getting over awkwardness and stage fright and things like that, and that musical theater helped them. How much of it was you had a part to play, and there were, dozens of other parts sometimes in these plays, and all of those other people are depending on you to do your part, otherwise the show is not going to be good. So how much of that pressure helped you kind of get over it? Like, it's kind of like, look, everybody's depending on me to do my part, just like you're depending on them to do theirs.
You know what? I never actually really thought about that, but I think that was kind of in the back of my mind, not actually thinking about it
Mm-hmm.
consciously. And I think that did definitely help me want to, like do better and actually go out and do things and show people that I could go out on stage and do things because they were also depending on me as if I were depending on them. So it was really like a group effort, and I think that also helped me a lot. And definitely at that time I didn't realize that, but I think looking back on it now, you made me realize that, and that's actually a good point that I never thought about.
Yeah, it's just funny because when you're on stage by yourself, if you mess up, you just embarrass yourself. But if you're in a band or if you're part of a play, you're embarrassing everybody, the director, the producer, So yeah, that can either help you or hurt you, right? You also talked about like the differences between musical theater and almost like the mainstream way of doing music, right? And how you can. I love that you're so young and you realize this because this comes up a lot on the show too, where you can really kind of formulate some bad habits when it comes to musical theater, if which is great for theater, but like if you're trying to get on the radio, you're trying to do popular venues, that's not so great anymore, right? So
Mhm.
as a younger artist, how did you transition away from that and get away from those habits?
There were definitely a lot of things I had to adapt to
Yeah.
getting out of that and going into the artist route. And one thing in musical theater, especially the roles that I was playing, there was a lot of belting all the time.
Hmm.
And I don't want to say shouting, but sometimes it would force you to shout and you would strain your voice. And sometimes people don't teach you proper vocal care. There we go. And you don't even realize it yourself. And you are just belting all the time, constantly. And, over time, it kind of kicks you in the butt. And then you try to sing something and you're like, wait, where to go? It's not there.
Hmm.
And so when I switched over to the artistry route, I realized that not every single song has to be shouting and shouting and shouting, but to really play with dynamics and your throat and your vocal cords. And honestly, the best part about singing is the dynamics and being softer sometimes and being louder other times, because I think that makes it even more special. In musical theater, obviously you're playing a part and you're basically trying to be someone you're not, and that's the whole point of it, obviously.
Hmm.
And I think something that was I don't it wasn't hard to transition to, but it was just something I had to be conscious of, was when I was on stage as an artist, I could just be myself and nobody would get mad at me for that, because it's not like I have to say a line or I have to say this. I can say something funny every now and then. I can, misspeak a word and then laugh at myself and people will laugh with me. It's not as strict and it's very free flowing, and that's one of the things I love about it. And you know I think it's very cool that I can be whoever I want on stage.
Amazing stuff. I love how you're really helping me out in unpacking who you are, by the way, so this is great stuff.